Yeah, that's right. We back in this piece. I'm your host, David Dawson, and you already know who this woman is out there in Seattle. What's up?
Hey, we back.
We back, huh? We back with another episode of Talking with Dawson, and hey, it's a privilege to have you back up in the studio again. You know what I'm saying? So, you guys gonna see a lot of Ashley, right? Ashley, is that right?
Yep. We're making it a habit right now.
Hey, Ashley's not, doing 100% today. You know what I'm saying? She's not feeling at her 100%, but she's gonna, like she always do. She's gonna grind it out. You know what I'm saying? And she's about to bring you guys a show because we got a lot to talk about, don't we, Ashley?
We do. And we keep showing up.
Showing up and showing out.
Showing up, showing out. Suit it and boot it.
Hey, cock lock and ready to rock, baby. You feel me? So, Ashley, what's the weather like in Seattle, man? What's going on in SeaTac?
I'm telling you, it seems like every time we meet that summer's playing peekaboo with us. It's kind of cloudy and, it's like 65. I don't know what's going on today, but it's
That's
all right.
crazy. That's crazy.
We here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Florida's hot as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hot as hell. I mean, let me see. Go ahead. What do you say?
Last time we talked, you guys were having the crazy rainstorms, and
oh yeah,
we passed that.
Yeah, it passed. No. We in hurricane season. This is our hurricane season. It's 93 today. Yeah. Sun is blazing out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's hot. It's hot. That's why I'm up in here in the studio in the cool AC. You know what I'm saying? So Ashley, dude, last time we touched on some things, but your illness, you know what I'm saying, with you battling cancer and something like that. And we talked a little bit about, parenting, right? Having to hold it down for, yourself right now because your significant others, locked up, incarcerated. That's Jerome Blake, Prison Reform podcast. So, I mean, I like to ask you some questions about, about co-parenting. You know what I'm saying? We both can relate on that, right? So, like, what do you feel like? How important to you, or did you have anyone in your life that like you have a mom and a dad with other children, or mom with other children that they co-parenting? Was that a thing for you growing up?
Yeah, yep, it definitely was. My family, my mom actually moved to Washington from Missouri when I was like 3, and she met a man out here who I consider my dad now.
Okay.
And he had 2 kids from a previous relationship. So we had all the dynamics, step parents, step siblings. They spent, a certain amount of time with their other family. And so sometimes I felt like the only child, but
the only child syndrome.
Yeah, and I was the youngest too, so I'm a little bit of a brat, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I did experience that, but I feel like, it kind of, maybe I'm more open to those dynamics because of my experience, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's not foreign to me. I think that the more responsible adults you have that love your children, like, that can never be a bad thing. So
yeah, I mean, for sure. That's the most important thing. I like also myself, growing up, I didn't have that experience. There was no co-parents in our family. We just had mom dukes, and mom was the father and the mother to us, So like, I didn't have that experience, but as I got older, and took on a family of my own, I started off, my first wife, was, had other children before we met. So, their father was active in their lives, when he could, he was like picking them up on the weekends and stuff like that. So I really didn't, at that time, I really didn't care. I was young, I didn't really care about co-parenting or whatever. Like, me and her eventually had, my first son, So it's like, he wasn't involved in my son's life, or, like, I was more involved in his kid's life because I lived, married to his baby mother. So that's the co-parenting that I endured, with not sharing that, the experience with everybody, with him as well. So like, co-parenting has been in my life for a while, as my second wife, now my third wife. You know, I always look at, unfortunately, right now. But I mean, exactly. And I was gonna say that, you know what I'm saying? But like at the same time, you know, them things gave me experiences, you know what I'm saying? Very good experiences. Like, you know, like this
absolutely.
one I really, really was involved, you know what I'm saying? Like my second wife had a son before we met, you know what I'm saying? We had 2 girls, right? And this is my third wife. You know, we ain't having no kids, so I, you know, took her kids in as my kids. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I mean, I'm just gonna say this, okay? I'm just gonna say this. To me, being, and I know that also you have, you know, you can also, you know, come into this conversation with me, Ashley. But I'm just want to explain something to you. I had this stigma with like raising someone else's kids, right? I don't think the kids understand how hard that is, right? It's
absolutely.
They can imagine how hard it is that someone else is, you know, they look at that kid as their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had this scenario. This is my scenario. My daughters, when me and my second wife got divorced, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't really, you know, excited about Kathy. You know what I'm saying? My third wife. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't excited about her at all. You know what I'm saying? They were like, nah, I mean, you know, I don't need no other mother. I want to try to push that mothership onto her. You know what I'm saying? About the kids, they too old. You know what I'm saying? And even if they weren't old, I wouldn't push that on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it's not something you force. It's something that grows and you know, develops, right? So, they weren't having it. You feel me? They weren't having that, you know, Kathy as a, you know, as a stepmother. So it was like something they fought against, and one of my children, you know, still she fights against it, right? But they was like, you know, the most thing that was said to me was like, you love them more than you love us. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. It's not even possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be to other people, but to me, it's impossible for me to love someone more than my own children. You feel me? But at the time, as it grew, it became blended. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the love was mutual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love, you know, my 2 stepkids just as much as I love my own kids, right? And became blended. Yeah. And when my older daughter, she's like, you know, I don't think you love, you know, you love them different than you love us. And, you know, I told my daughter, I said, let me tell you something. I don't know how to put it in you, tell you how much I love all of you, but I'll put it in this scenario, right? So I said, you know, if you both slipped off, you know, one of, you know, my children, one of, you know, my wife's kid slipped and fell off, you know, slipped on the edge, and then I grabbed him, and I had to, you know, hold one of them, you know what I'm saying? And I had to look at the, you know, situation going on here that I can't bring them both up, right? So I'm gonna have to release one and save one, or release the other and save the other. And I in my mind, as I was telling her this, I came in concept of theory, like, this is my blood on my right, this is not my blood on my left, but I love them the same. So my only option was, hey, we all 3 going over. I would sacrifice all of us because I could never live with myself. You know what I'm saying? With that mind's, you know, in my mind.
I think that, you know, just like listening to you share that, especially about your daughters feeling that way about, you know, that new dynamic with your third wife. But, you know, I feel like that's kind of a thing that we, like, a burden we carry as parents. Like, kids, I believe, are just kind of inherently selfish. You know, they're figuring out how the world affects them, not, you know, how they affect the world. And I think empathy and like that kind of understanding is something that we develop. We develop that, you know what I mean? So I think it's pretty natural for kids to feel that way. But, you know, I don't know. I think that by, you know, having those relationships with like your stepkids, you know, they're not going to appreciate it now, but later when they find themselves in these situations, you know, they're going to be like, wow, like my dad was able to find love in his heart for all these people, you know.
And that's all you want as a parent, right? That's all you want as a, you know, as a co-parenting. That's all you want. I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? I want to be accepted, that the love they have for their mother, I want them to have that same love for me. But it's like something that it festers. It doesn't, you know, just happens. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because of the dynamic of how our kids was, you know what I'm saying, born into this selfish world. You know what I'm saying? And they just entitlement feeling like, you know, we owe them something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember my son told me, like, you know, like, you gotta feed me. No, that's hold on, boo. That's an obligation. You know what I'm saying? we had to put it upon ourselves. Like, but to me, it's like, you 18. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's time for you to, you know, leave the nest and go out there and fend for yourself, little homie. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I would have to do. First of all, I gotta do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's love. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they think that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do this. You have to give me a place to stay. No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't.
Well,
so
my kids aren't adults yet, but my favorite thing to tell them is, you know, the only thing I'm required to do is to put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and feed you and make sure you go to school. Like,
that's
you
it.
know, everything else, all the other shit in this bitch, that's extra. You know what
stuff.
I mean? And
that's
and that's a privilege.
They should be happy that they breathing in this house of mine. You know what I'm saying? That's, I mean, but this, at the same course, is like, this is the society we live in, right? And I feel like from all that said, I've learned to grow with you know what I'm saying? Learn them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been together for 4 years and I'm learning, you know, and I've learned a lot from them. I mean, like, being a co-parent is like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And being a stepfather has been buck wily. You feel me? It's like, it's beyond measure of, like, because I know my kids fear me. You know what I'm saying? It's in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids ain't cross any boundaries. You know, you can pay them to cross boundaries.
Respect.
Exactly. So these kids, they look at me like, you ain't my dad. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, you know, they never said that to me ever. You know what I'm saying? But they you can see how they look at you, and I'll say it for them.
I
like,
sure said it to my stepdad.
Exactly. I'll say you.
More than once.
I say it to them. I say it to myself. I said, I know how you look at me. I know I'm not your dad, right? But this is my house, and you will obey the rules and regulations in this house. That's it.
Right.
That's all I ask for. I don't ask for you to call me dad. I don't ask you, you know, to love me, but you're gonna respect me in this house, and respect the rules of this house. And that's because the rules are set to protect you in the long run. You feel me?
Yeah.
So for them to understand that process, you know what I'm saying? No kid, no matter if it's step kids or your own blood, don't understand the concept of there's rules laid for you to protect you, right? It's not to make my life easier. You know what I'm saying? Because my life is never easy having kids. I would die feeling this is not easy. You know what I'm saying? Because them kids gonna need you all your life. And we're gonna hit on that later on about that, because I have a story I want to tell you about that. Not a story, but like a statement I made in my own mind, right? But it's like all the research and study I've done about, you know, love, right? Because love is a very strong, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, vibration. It's a strong, you know what I'm saying, frequency, right? And people think it's a feeling, and it's not. Right?
It's a verb.
It's a verb, right? It's something you have to give to receive, right? And in the way that you want to, reciprocate it. It's a whole nother segment, right? It's a whole nother segment.
Listen, that's my entire philosophy on parenting. You know, I had my kids pretty young. I was 20 and 24 when my kids were born, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know what I mean? I had kids before I was ready. But, you know, I've always felt like, as long as, like, I just actively loved my kids and poured love into them, like, I could be doing everything else wrong. You know what I mean? But,
absolutely.
But you show up, you love your kids, and, like, you know, something comes back right, you know? So, and I'm seeing evidence of that, you know, now that they're older. It's like, I can see where I should have tightened up and where I should have let loose, but, like, they are loved and they love back. You know?
Absolutely.
So.
And do you feel like, because a lot of parents, I've seen, you know, like, not seen a lot of parenting, but I used to coach, you know, Little League basketball, right, at the YMCA, and I've seen those parents, right? I can't speak for all parents, but I'm saying I've seen those parents, and when I mean those parents, let me just elaborate on that a little bit. Those rich people parents, you know what I'm saying? The rich people parents. That's a whole nother ball game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that parenting. I don't. Because they were like, I would be at practice, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, like, all out thugging with their kids, like sit your behind down and you run these, you know what I'm saying? Like they like sit back like you tell them, the coach be like, you tell them, you like, and I'm like, boy, if you ever talk to my kid like this, bro, me and you have some issues, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's like you had to be rough with these kids. They don't understand the concept of you know, authority. Because
right.
Ashley, do you like? Let me ask you this question, right? Because you are, you know, a different ethnic to me. You know, what I'm saying I'm black. You know, you're red right now, but you know, you're white. You know what I'm saying? But do you believe in that? You know, where you show out is where you get worked out at ethics. You know what I'm saying? Do you believe in spanking your kids?
I don't, you know, but I did. I did. I did spank my older son, and I actually had a moment where he
I already see it coming.
He had hit his little brother, and you know they're like 3.5 years apart. So I want to say that you know my older son was like 5, and my younger son was like 1.5 years old, and you know, and you know you're trying to teach like your kids too. I'm like, you're so much bigger than him. Like I don't care what he did to you, but you hit him, you're gonna really hurt him. You know, but. I was spanking him, and I'm holding on to him, and I'm spanking his butt, and I'm like, "Don't hit your brother." And I don't know what happened in my brain, but I was like, "What am I doing? Like, this doesn't even make sense. I'm hitting you, telling you not to hit somebody else."
Right.
And,
that's a reverse psychology.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, you know, like we've always heard that saying that like I can show you better than I can tell you, but that was like my aha moment where I was like, I have to lead by example, and if I'm not emotionally regulated in these situations, I don't know what the hell spanking you is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I know if someone was hitting me, I would want to go hit somebody else too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, that's
the thing too. Know, like I believe that that's a, you know, a culture thing, right? Because like I grew up. I have a story very quick. So when I was little, I had this friend named Mark, right? And Mark's parents was like the coolest parents. You know, you understand that terminology when someone says you're a cool parent. Like you got away with some shit at Mark's house, but you would never get away with your house, right? So my mom caught wind of that. Right, and knew that that's why I want to go to Mark's house and, you know, spend the night, because my mom was really good about telling, you know, we go spend the night at people's house. But when she allowed you to go do that, she was like, you better treat them people's house like you treat my house. And she meant that, right? So one day, me and Mark, you know, outside playing baseball on the side of the house. I'm talking, we tearing the house up with like a, you know, like a tennis ball hit the side, and shingles on the side of the house is coming off the house, right? His parents are like, Mark, David, stop throwing the ball against the, you know, the house. And Mark was like, shut up, Mom. Bro.
Oh no.
What? I got scared because I thought that she gonna both of us, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like throwing the ball at the house, you know what I'm saying? Now that's Mark. Mom's like, you don't talk to me that way. Wait till your dad get home, right? Nothing happened to Mark. That's the end of that story. Okay, nothing ever happened to Mark. So I'm like, my scenario was like, Mark came over once to my house. I mean, one time, because my mom didn't believe in kids spending the night at her house. She didn't believe that, right? Yeah. So Mark came over one time, right? He didn't spend the night. He was just over there, right? And my mom said something out of pocket, right? to Mark, not to me. It was in pocket to me. I understood everything she was saying, right? So Mark was like, why you let your mom talk to you that way? Oh my God, Mark. And my mom heard this. I don't know how the hell she in the other room heard Mark whisper this. She came in this like, who that kid? Look, let me tell you something. Who the hell are you talking to? Who you talking? Am I trying to tell myself how to talk to me? She said, boy, I will whoop both of y'all asses. You said, and she meant that. I mean, to the full capacity. And Mark looked at her like, you can't whoop me. You know, I'm not your child. Boy, pick your stuff up. You gotta go home. I'm like, like I said, that was the last time Mark been in my house. But like, I've never even attempted, right, to tell my mother anything shorter than mama. You know what I'm saying, mama? You know what I'm saying? Like, or shush, none of that. You can't say none of these things. So it's like, I know is culture rise, right? But so these kids at these YMCA, they had that same culture. They was friends with their kids. See, and that's where I draw the line at, right? And I mean this. I want my kids to be able to come talk to me about anything what I'm saying? And I'll also tell them that, hey, listen, if you use it or not, it's still there, right? If you don't want to come talk to me, I'm not trying to force you to come talk to me, at least talk to somebody, your mother, you know what I'm saying, or somebody that's an adult, right? But if you feel comfortable to come talk to me, come talk to me about it, right? Because the thing is, men have a different conversation, you know, border, you know, boundary that women, you know, I'm a thin line there. Something like my younger baby told me, like, yeah, I'm having sex, and my whole heart broke. You know, like everything in my essence was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, wait, what? I don't want to hear this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, I don't want to hear this. He said, like, stop it. Well, Dad, you say I can come talk to you. That's not what you need to talk to me ever about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are an angel. You are a pure virgin to me, always, right? So,
yeah,
it's that thin line, right, for men's, you know, to be able to have that.
I think it's the dynamic too. I mean, have you ever been in a situation, like, have you ever had, I guess, responsibility for your kids full time alone for lengths of time? Like, because I look at it like, you know, I haven't had a man physically in my house, so I feel like I am kind of like a single parent with my kids for 8 years.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, so I feel like that can play a role kind of in that dynamic, because I'm so far up my kids' ass. I want to know. I track their location. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to know who you're with when you leave somewhere and you're going somewhere else. I want to know that, and when you get there.
Absolutely.
And you know, maybe, in my head, I'm like, I've worked so damn hard to keep these kids safe, you know, and
absolutely,
and trying to guide them into who I think, you know, they can be, you know, and to live up their potential, that I'm like, I can't quit now that they're old enough to go outside without me. You know what I'm saying? So I asked the hard questions. Did you kiss the girl? Like, did you get to second base?
God.
Like, I want to know, you know what I'm saying? Where are we at? Like, you know, and that helps me dictate like what type of conversations I need to be having with them, you know?
Right.
Like, I want to know. Like,
I think that's, I mean, like, and that's
condoms?
Exactly. And that, you know, that's like I said, that's Mark's mom. You feel me?
Yeah.
That, I mean, me and Mark grew up, like, you know what I'm saying? We came, you know, out of high school, you know, he went out to the Marines. I stayed home. So he came back, you know what I'm saying? We kept in contact. We lost contact now that I'm in Florida, you know what I'm saying? But like, we still had, you know, ties. I called him a couple times while I've been here, but like, you know, like you grow older out of friendship.
Yeah.
And that's another segment though, because I don't believe in that either. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things I disagree on when it comes to, you know, friends and love and stuff like that. And so my ideal of these things, like, it's parenting is like one of the most difficult things that was given, you know, the task was given to a human, right?
Yeah.
Because like a woman is the only bearer that can carry the seed, right? And bring, you know, fruition and put the baby in there 9 months and come out and the baby's born, and automatically you guys have that love for that baby, right? Yeah. Automatically, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had that connection with all my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, I was, you know, like I was born, you know, fatherless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I have my mom, and you know, all I know is my mom. You know what I'm saying? Throughout my whole life, except one, you know, tear in a universe where she married a guy, you know what I'm saying, then they divorced like really fast. You know what I'm saying? So it was like only man figure I had, like, I could, you know, in the house, right? So it was just weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that when I connected with my child like that.
Essentially you're creating the blueprint for what a man should look like, because you didn't have one.
Exactly. Right? So like that's what like my sisters still to this day look at me like, you know, that big brother. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like that's why I look at life. Like these kids these days, they don't have that same concept. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, and it's our duty, right? Because it's what you know, that kid in your life for 18 years. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like it can stay there later if you let them. You know what I'm saying? But there's a cutoff for us. You know what I'm saying? So like in 18 years, so and. When they experience, like, you want them to know that whatever all I put in you, all the fights, all the arguments, all the, you know, the rebelling you did, and it was for a training process, because now you got to go out to this world And I hope that I give you the necessary tools to, to be able to survive in this cold world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know with mothers is, I mean, you can share that. Like it's harder for a mother. That's why they call it empty nest syndrome, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's harder, right?
Listen, my 14-year-old right now, he's such a cool kid. He really is. I'm so proud of my kids, but he's at that age where he's going outside, and he's interested in girls, and his friends are trying shit, and it's like you really do he has given me no reason to like he hasn't broke trust or given me reason
absolutely
to keep him inside or something, but it's like you really have to hope that what you've done so far, because inevitably he's going to make a bad choice at some point. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's going to find himself in situations, and he might have already, and I just don't know about it yet. But you really got to just hope that what you've done, that you've put enough tools in their toolbox to prepare them for those decisions. And then there's just shit that, like, it doesn't matter if he's the best kid in the world, but our brains are just not, we're still figuring shit out, and your brain is still developing, and it's a statistic. It's a fact. When you're a teenager, you make bad choices.
Absolutely.
And it's scary. It's scary as shit as a mom. I agree with that.
Facts. And it does hit different, through parenting. I've seen it on TV. Like I said, I have not seen it in reality in my own face. Like when I seen, the dad also is broken. You know what I'm saying? Because dad's got to be more tougher. He's, mom is like, shut the door and you open the door. You shut the door, I open the door. Like, you gotta leave. You say, no, you can't leave. You shut the door, right? It's that mental, vision that you're seeing, right? Your wife like, do he really need to go off to college? Does he really need to get on, living his own? And dad's like, man, he gotta go out there and see what's really out there in that damn world. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay for his own toilet paper, and all the times he open the refrigerator and he's shutting the refrigerator, open the refrigerator. Like, dude, you gotta go experience that yourself. So like, to me, it's like we have to be tougher. And that, I think that love and toughness is a balance, right? Because mom is always going to show love, and dad got to be tough because, I told you this last time on the phone. I said it's so hard, or maybe in the podcast I maybe say this, but I'm like, it's so hard for a woman to raise a boy to become a man. It's difficult because
it's funny because if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have disagreed with you. Because I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm raising men. You know what I'm saying? But as they get older, I'm like, there really is there's a line that as a woman, you can't connect and relate on. And a little boy growing into a man is never going to look at his mom and respect you as a man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there's things I can't give my kids. And I hate that. I hate it. As like a woman who's like, I can do anything like that, so I really value the men and the role models that we do have, in their lives, because, without that, I don't know.
And see, we were different. My mom beat that in us. You know what I'm saying? That it was not implied to us by vocal. It was by physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, her raising
and a lot of women
5 kids.
Make up for
Exactly. So her 5 kids, she raised with this authority that I'm your daddy and your mama. That was a vision I can still see to this day, like with single parents. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like you had to be the dad sometime. You know what I'm saying? Like, to talk to them about girls and stuff like that, and talk to them, and give both sides of the story. You feel me? Because like they got your opinion, but they don't have that man's opinion. They just got, so you got to be that at both opinionated. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's also by adapting to your situation, right? Because you're not a man. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't raised as a man. You know what I'm saying? You only see it in the woman point of view. Man's point of view is different because like it's hard for a man and a woman to even have communication, with each other. Something that's you have to be forced or something you have to be go to therapy for. You need to talk more to your wife. You know what I'm saying? It's because man is like we're more visual and women more feeling. You know what I'm saying? We're physically, I'm physically attracted to you. I'm physically attracted to you. And women are like, I'm emotional.
In love with
attached
you.
To you, love you, right? Yeah. So it's like, it's different, so like, this to me is crazy that so many people, only see it in that terminology, you know what I'm saying? Of like, hey, I can raise this boy to become a man. You can, but the result is going to be so different than a real man being in that kid's life. And I'm not saying just it's on and off, right? I'm talking about consistency in this boy's life. You know what I'm saying? Raising this boy, you know, from a child up to a man. That's important, right? And we run out of a little time now for this segment. Hold on. But like, hey, check out the second video coming up here next. You know what I'm saying? So like, we're going to keep on rolling. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep on talking about this. So like, I mean, just please hit that subscribe, hit that like, you know what I'm saying? Share this video, you know what I'm saying? And tune in for the second part of this. All right. Yeah, right, Ashley?
Round two.
Round two.